Okay, well, it's finally here, the RC10T from Associated, the re-release that just came out. Now, mine arrived in a pretty good time, not as quickly as those people who are next door to Associated there in California, but got it pretty quickly here before the holiday. So I'm gonna go ahead and pull an all-nighter. I'm gonna put this together. I'm going to try to put the video together, so it may not be my best video production quality, but we'll try and give it a shot here. Hello, and welcome to Quiet RC. As usual, I am Rob. Tonight, we're building the RC10T, so we'll see what happens. Shh. As usual, the official unboxing knife that's in shot here. This is the right way up. We'll see soon enough. Oh, look at that. What a perfect reveal. Right on the money. Something's blocking it. Is it really that tight a fit? Come on. I'm gonna do some editing on this one. There we go. All right. First thing to point out here, we have this foil logo on here like we did on the RC10 40th. All sealed up here. Yeah, not a controversy, but people definitely discussing it. The fact that on the front of this, it shows the wide front tires, or seems to show the wide front tires. However, they are including it with the narrow front tires that were banned when this thing came out, which to me makes sense. Like, if you're gonna race a truck, race a truck. If you're gonna race a buggy with narrow front wheels, then go race a buggy. I had the RC10T Team Truck, which is the one that came out after this. It had the like kind of military green and hard anodized shocks. These come with the gold. The plan with this one is to more or less build it up as a runner. I've got some bearings. I actually took the electronics that I kind of set aside for the RC10, but I think I'm gonna go a different direction with that. Those are gonna go into this one, and just for everybody's who hasn't seen the RC10 unboxing video, we have kind of sticking with the Associated theme, so Reedy electronics. So Reedy servo, which is kind of a middling servo, Reedy brushed ESC, and a pretty hot motor, 17 turn brushed, at least a hot motor for brushed stuff, radon. So I'll show those to here. This already feels really light. Should be in there. And then, I don't know, maybe this came in just like not a very good package. I don't know why that's out already. But there it is. All right, let's go ahead and open it. See where we are. Breaking the seal. I think that's side one, and there's some top ones here. These seals have kind of become a little iconic, I guess. All right. Oh, this is really exciting. I like this. Okay. All right. So it doesn't look like this one comes with the same box that you can turn into a display like the RC10. I'm gonna start pulling out some of the parts here. I had cleaned this whole spot in preparation for this, but now a few things got set aside here. Put these over here. Sorry, you're kind of seeing just my chest here. All right, so let's get the body out. I mean, that is what a proper stadium truck body should look like. The ones now are getting a little out there. Here are your wheels and tires. This does settle once and for all what it comes with. Some people were saying it was coming with both. That didn't have a lot of validity, nor did it have a lot of historical precedence to support that. Here is the pan for it. Now, you may remember the RC10 did come with numbered stickers. This does not. However, it does come with that really nice looking etched design, and it does come with a little sticker. Now, my memory has this feeling thicker, but people did some measurements and some weighing against some original gold chassis stuff and with the RC10, and they did say that it was just dead on the same weight. Who knows? Now, notably, this does not come with any kind of laser etching on the back motor area here. Again, that's okay. I'm gonna run this one. All right, let's put it back in here. My problem is I say I'm gonna run it, and then sometimes I finish it and I like so much how it looks, or I feel like I put a ton of work into it that I don't don't end up doing it, but I really feel like I'm gonna do it this time. Okay, so this plastic, nice and flexible, feels like it's gonna go together well. I can already recognize this tree from the RC10cc, and this is the same mold, it seems like. Here's all your rear suspension parts, it looks like, including your shock tower, all of your drive shafts, the bushings, obviously the arms, and the blocks to mount it. I wonder if it comes with different ones, or if it looks like it might come with some different angles. That's kind of cool, maybe. We'll find out. Also, it looks like it comes with E-clips as they are now, not on the little roll. There's your toolkit with the shock tool. So we'll get that nice satisfying snap when we put these together. There's all your body mounts, obviously very specific to the RC10T. Here is, of course, the famed stealth transmission. If you recall, the CC, and I'm pretty sure the RC10, the 40th anniversary, has the original 6-gear. So here is the actual stealth transmission. There's your whole packet for the shocks. These are really nice looking. And again, O-rings and E-clips. I'm not going to do that joke again, don't worry. There's your front bumper. This is for the steering. That's your servo saver. I was getting fun down here. There's your servo mounts. Now, I had not an argument, but like, I posted something a while ago on one of the Facebook groups, probably RC10 Talk, saying like, oh, when I got the RC10 team truck and I built it, it just had you servo tape down the servo. And they said, no, that's not the case. They always had servo mounts. Fortunately for me, I still have my original manual, and I kind of still have the original truck, but in a very different form. And I went and checked the manual. All that it was servo tape it down. So vindicated there. But servo mounts are obviously much better. There's your nose plate and all the rest of your front suspension. Anything of note in here? No. It's interesting. Somebody did comment that the plastics did seem to be like different shades of each other, and that does seem to be the case. There are some different shades, but it really doesn't bother me. And your spur gear. All right, and here are your decal sets as well as your antenna. Window masks, there's something else in there, and a physical manual. Look at that, guys. Either they heard our cries about not having a physical manual with the RC10, or my theory is still on the table. And my theory is that with the RC10, the 40th anniversary edition, something happened with the printing of the actual manual. This is a theory of why there's no physical manual. My theory is that something happened with the physical printing of the manual, either something with a supplier, maybe they misspelled associated or something like that. And at a last minute, they had to just toss in this little card with a QR code, because that card seems just very afterthoughty. So that's my thought. All right, that's the end of the box. The joke I made before is that while there's a lot of stuff that's original that made it from the original box, I don't know if the Facebook, Instagram, X, FKA, Twitter, and TikTok logos were in the original box. That's still funny, I think. All right, I'm gonna put it all back. No, I'm not going to put it all back. I'm going to spread it all out here because we're building it right now. You'll be right back with me, but I'm going to take some time. I got to make everybody dinner, and then we'll get to work on this. All right, I'm back. Full disclosure, didn't actually cook dinner for everybody. My wife came home and asked if we wanted to go for dinner, and I said yes, because that's much easier. So we're back now. Kids are in bed. Wife is otherwise distracted, and it's now 7:37 p.m. So we'll get cracking on this. I'm not going to do the body. Obviously, that's going to take too much time, but we'll get the chassis built, electronics in, hopefully get it started up. Let's get going. I am going to switch to stainless steel here for as many of the screws that I have. I used most of these on my CC kit, so we'll see what's actually left over. So, vintage cover on it, more like the current. Here, let me see if I can dig out my original manual. Ah, here we go. The RC10T Team Truck 7035 with the big fat tires. So just to give you an idea of what this manual looks like, I mean, it's very rudimentary. Photographs taken and then put it up on here. Long drawn out paragraphs of how to do things, including racer's tip here. So anyways, but let's use this. Love these decal sheets. This is even better though. Really kind of neon color. I mean, that's straight out of the 90s. These are not pre-cut. The CC ones were pre-cut. I don't know if the 40th anniversary ones are pre-cut. I'm the type of person that doesn't like pre-cut ones. I feel like I could do better if I cut them myself. Side with the body. Oh, here's the masks for the windows of the body. Oh, look at that, that's cute. Little body washers. And 4 body clips. Bag A, step 1. So I do want to note, because in my build video for the CC, I believe I mentioned that they did not give the actual lengths of the kingpins that were being used in each step. But here they do actually give the lengths, so you won't have to guess between the small, medium, and large size. 0.951, 0.951. Satisfying ending to bag 1 there. As you can see, I've opted for the stainless steel. Again, I don't think I have enough to finish the whole car in stainless steel, but we'll see where it goes. Do want to point out that in this last step here, it has you installing that flathead screw. However, it doesn't explicitly say which hole it goes into. As you can see on the chassis plate here, there's actually 2 matching sets, and it can allow you to make the wheelbase a little shorter. Now, I flipped forward a few, and you can kind of see it right in the next steps here, but it does appear to be that bottom hole that holds that one. So I guess we'll find out in the end where exactly it ends up. Just keep an eye out on that. On to bag B. And there is everything mounted onto the actual chassis. Turnbuckles done, servo saver done, nose tubes put in. So let's talk a little bit about that. So first and foremost, over here as you go from bag A, completing that over into bag B, there is a little note here that says /I. Kind of hard to miss because it almost looks like a 1 there, but it's I. I is where the turnbuckles and the ball cups are. So you will need to pull out the I bag, and you're going to kind of put them off to the side here because they're not just used in this step. You kind of use them throughout the build. You assemble the servo saver here. Now, when you put it together, I found that I could not get this 540 lock nut all the way down to where it needed to be to actually hold that servo saver in place. It doesn't mention it here, but they actually include a kind of thick aluminum washer in bag B for the servo saver. So I just kind of put that there. You can see it right here. That's that washer. And that seems to hold everything in place. You do want to make sure you're not tightening this down so much that it binds. You're going to then do all these turnbuckles. These 4 turnbuckles are the same size, but you are going to do different lengths in between these. So you'll bust out your calipers for that. You're also going to be putting in your nose tubes, which are actually in bag A, but now you're finally doing them. I did put a little dab of Loctite on both of these screws actually. And one thing I did was I did this side and left it just slightly loose. This is obviously after you feed it through the center here, then you put it through. And these holes didn't actually line up perfectly. I actually went underneath, unscrewed these about, I don't know, quarter, half inch. And that gave me some flexibility in this piece to kind of get those to line up, tighten those down, tighten those screws back up. And that allowed me to get everything squared up and nice and tight. All right, on to bag C at this point. Bag C and D, the bumper and the body mounts are on there. It's a little difficult to get these nuts on there because this is actually threaded, so it's not like it just spins in there. So you have to actually crank these down themselves, not just from this side. So the mounts take a button head screw underneath. There's those in there. And we're on to the servo build. Servo is installed. Not a huge fan of it. It's very slow. I don't know, I guess I'm just spoiled with really nice race ones. Looks nice though. Also not a fan of this ESC. It doesn't have an on-off switch. Seems pretty basic. So the only way you turn it on and off is by plugging and unplugging the battery, which is, I don't know. To me, that's a little obnoxious. Come on, on-off switch, guys. We've passed through hour 3, a little bit into hour 4 here, and we are started on the shocks. This is gonna be pretty arduous, but we have the rear suspension done. Just enough stainless screws to get through that. Do be careful when installing these. It'll tell you that they want the forward hole. Doesn't give you a ton of help as to which one's the forward hole when it's not on there, but this is what it looks like, because these are where the shocks are going to mount to, and they go towards the front of the vehicle. Yeah, everything else lines up nicely with the kind of rear bulkhead. We now have these shocks completed and installed, and we are in starting now hour 5 of this. My back and neck are killing me, but we're going to press on. Officially, the finishing up the transmission build includes actually installing the motor and the ESC and the radio receiver. God, I'm so tired. We've crossed into hour 5 here, well into starting into hour 6, but you finish putting in the dog bones. What's interesting is that the instructions do not tell you to put any oil or grease anywhere. So I just know for building these, like, you got to put grease in the diff, and you got to put or oil in the diff, and you have to put grease on the gears inside the Stealth. So I did that. It doesn't explicitly say it. Maybe I'm wrong. I don't know. Sure seems silly if you don't do that. Maybe they're just like really expecting people not to run these, but they do offer some of this moly grease and some diff grease, although it doesn't say exactly what it is. So on to, I'm sure, the wheels. I should also mention that it doesn't seem like they actually included the 3x6mm button head screws. I haven't come across them yet. I could be wrong. But yeah, thankfully I had some 3x6 button head to put on here. Oh, and also, obviously there's not a pinion included. And I thought I just had a bunch of 48 pitch, but I only had some really big ones. So I had to take this out of another car, this 18 tooth, and that's almost as small as you can get. So I'll have to pick up something else, but at least it won't overheat. The wheels were super frustrating, but not in the way that you might think. So in the instruction manual, they tell you that the fronts are going to use 1/2 inch socket heads, and that the rear is going to use slightly longer 5/8 inch. Now I go and open up the package, and I'm looking at these screws that they give me, and they're clearly not those lengths. What they actually give you are 3/8 and 3/4. Now I ended up using 1/2 inch ones on the front, but you can see they come through just a tiny bit. And ultimately, I definitely think you could use what they actually give you. Originally, I thought they just gave me completely wrong screws, couldn't do it. But I think that the manual is incorrect. The long screws that they actually give you, the 3/4 inch ones, go in the back, and that the 3/8 inch ones that they give you will work for the front. However, my hand's tired. I'm done doing it. It's done. Some final thoughts here. We are 3 minutes past the 6-hour mark. That's how long it took. It's 1:40 in the morning. I'm gonna go up and try and get this edited quickly and get it out to you guys. But final thoughts, it's great to have the 10T. There is definitely a future with this, with me. I'm gonna be doing some different things with it. Different wheels, different tires. Before this actually arrived, I went to look to see if J Concepts had their wider rib tires available, and they are sold out everywhere. It seems like everybody hopped on those when this started coming out, so caught J Concept sleeping a little bit, but eventually I'll get that. Thought I had a bunch of 48 tooth pinions on hand. I do. They're just all too big. I think the smallest one I had was 28, and could not make that work with this. It was too big. It was too tight of a mesh, almost made it. And then right now I think I've got a 18 tooth on here, and it is almost too small. So I may have to get something in between, probably do a little research on what people are actually running. It's all set to go. Again, in the future, maybe we'll go brushless. I think I'm gonna upgrade the Reedy electronics. Not really impressed with them. Anyways, that's all I've got for you tonight. That's all I've got for anything. I'm exhausted. We'll talk RC again later. Thanks.